In this video, we look at where Brendan Dassey is in 2021.
Come on, Brendan, be honest. You can do it. Just tell us the truth.
I grabbed her arm, put it on the side, and tied her up.
Brendan Dassey was featured on the popular Netflix docuseries Making a Murderer in 2015. But where is he now? Brendan Ray Dassey was born on October 19, 1989, in Manitowoc County, Wisconsin. He was raised by his parents, Peter and Barbara, alongside his brothers, Brian, Bobby, and Blaine, and his half-brother, Brad. He attended Mishicot High School, where he was enrolled in special education classes due to having an IQ that was on the lower side. He was described as a quiet and introverted child who loved WWE, animals, and video games. He had no involvement with crime prior to his arrest in 2006. Dassey's arrest came from his involvement in the case of Teresa Halbach. Halbach was a 24-year-old photographer who disappeared after taking pictures of vehicles in Stephen Avery's salvage yard on October 31, 2005. Less than 2 weeks later, Avery was arrested for Halbach's disappearance, and he was charged with murder, kidnapping, sexual assault, mutilation of a corpse after bone fragments belonging to Halbach were found in a burn pit belonging to Avery, as well as her car being found in the salvage yard. Now, how exactly was Dassey involved in this crime? Avery is Dassey's uncle. Dassey confessed under interrogation to having helped his uncle kill and dispose of Halbach. Dassey also served as his uncle's alibi. Even though Dassey was only 16 at the time, he was interrogated 4 times over 2 days with no lawyer or parent present. After his confession, it was determined that Dassey was considered to be highly suggestible, which meant that he was more likely to give a false confession during an interrogation. He then recanted his confession, but the damage was already done. On April 25, 2007, Dassey was found guilty of first-degree murder, rape, and mutilation of a corpse. Even though he was only 17 years old, Dassey was tried and sentenced as an adult and was sentenced to life in prison. Making a Murderer was released back in 2015. This brought worldwide attention to Dassey's case. Petitions for his freedom were widespread, as well as petitions for the implementation of the Juvenile Interrogation Protection Law in Wisconsin, which would make it illegal for a minor to be interrogated without the presence of a lawyer. Rallies for the release of Dassey were held all over the United States, England, and Australia. So where is he now? In 2016, the Center of Wrongful Convictions of Youth, which is part of Chicago's Northwestern University Pritzker School of Law and helps to exonerate innocent children charged with crimes, petitioned for Dassey's release and an overturning of all of his charges. The presiding judge passed this motion and ordered for Dassey to be released. But in 2017, the case was reverted to its original verdict, and it was determined by a vote of 4-3 that Dassey was not tricked into making a false confession. Supporters of Dassey's release did not give up, though it continues to be an uphill battle. In December of 2019, while Dassey was still serving time in prison, the governor of Wisconsin, Tony Evers, said he would not consider reducing Dassey's sentence. Dassey's team continued to fight. His legal team, as well as both the national and international supporters, continue to contact Governor Evers' office and telling him that Dassey deserves to be free. A billboard was even erected near the city of Oshkosh, Wisconsin, which is home to the Oshkosh Correctional Institution, which is a medium-security prison where Dassey's serving his time. Along the busy Interstate 41, that said, "Tell Governor Evers that it's time to bring Brendan Dassey home." There's also been a petition that has been signed by over 250 experts in law enforcement, politics, and psychology, requesting that Governor Evers pardon Dassey and allow him to be a free man once again. Legal experts believe that this is a losing battle. It has been noted that it is rare for governors to pardon anyone who's been convicted of a violent crime. Instead, governors are more likely to pardon someone who has a lesser offense, such as a crime involving drugs or property damage. Even if there were to be some strong new evidence of his innocence, it would be a long shot for a governor to pardon someone for a crime like this. The reason that there is so much public outcry is that the confession that Dassey gave at the age of 16 has been widely acknowledged to be false. There have been forensic evidence has disproved this young man's confession. The officers who were interrogating Dassey told him that if he gave them the information about the murder of Halbach, it would help him to avoid charges. Dassey went on to tell the officers that he helped his uncle murder Halbach in Avery's bedroom. Forensic teams searched Avery's bedroom from top to bottom, but they did not find any DNA belonging to either Dassey or Halbach, which disproves the confession that Dassey made during his interrogation. This type of evidence has led to the exoneration of many other cases, and yet Dassey is still behind bars. His interrogation was also in a guessing game style, which has produced many other false confessions. Dassey was asked how Halbach was killed, and in order to avoid getting in trouble with the law, the teen proceeded in guessing what had happened. He guessed that she had been stabbed, then that she had been strangled, then that her hair was cut. Frustrated, police finally had to tell him that Halbach was shot. Due to the popularity of the show came back for a second season. While the first season focused on Avery's murder of Halbach and Dassey's coercion into confessing, the second season focuses more on the aftermath of both of these men's convictions, as well as the legal team of Dassey trying to get the ruling overturned. There will be a third season of the show, but it is yet to be revealed when these new episodes will make their way to Netflix. The first season was released in 2015, and the second season was not released until 3 years later in 2018, so it's predicted that the production will begin sometime this year. This season will likely continue to follow Dassey and his family as they continue their quest for freedom. As of today, Dassey, who is now 31 years old, is still incarcerated in Wisconsin. His only chance for parole comes in the year 2048 when he will be 59 years old. As for Dassey's uncle, where is Stephen Avery now? Avery is currently serving a life sentence with no chance of parole for murdering Halbach. He's serving his sentence at the Waupun Correctional Institution in Wisconsin. Like Dassey, Avery has been working to fight his conviction ever since he was found guilty in 2007. Avery says he was found guilty due to planted evidence and false testimonies, but this has not been proven. Avery has exhausted his appeals and is no longer entitled to legal representation from the state. Unlike his nephew, Avery had a packed rap sheet prior to his involvement in the disappearance and murder of Halbach. He had his first brush-in with the law at the age of 18 when he and a friend burglarized a bar, stealing beer, sandwiches, and $14 in coins. A year later, he was found guilty of animal cruelty after stealing a cat and throwing it in a bonfire. And his crimes did not stop there. He was charged in 1985 for endangering life and for the possession of a firearm after he pointed a gun at his cousin's head, and also for running her off the road because he said she was spreading rumors about him. He was also charged with attacking a woman named Penny Ann Bernstein. He was convicted of this crime, although 16 witnesses were able to confirm Avery's alibi. He was proved innocent from DNA testing 18 years later and was released from prison. He was released from jail in 2003, only 2 years before he was once again arrested, this time for the murder of Halbach. Like Dassey, it was revealed that Avery's IQ score was lower than average and he struggled in school, but he still got married in 1982 to Lori Matheson. Together, the couple had 4 children: Rachel, Jenny, Stephen, and Will. The marriage did not last. His wife divorced him while he was in jail for the assault of Bernstein, and he lost custody, even of his twin boys, who were merely a few days old. During the past few years, Avery became involved with Lynn Hartman as they communicated through letters and phone calls. The pair were engaged to be married only 1 week after they met face-to-face for the first time, but the engagement did not last long because Avery feared that she was only into him for his money. There you have it. Brendan Dassey, then and now. Let us know in the comments if you believe he's innocent. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.